Great morning, everyone. Great morning, great Saturday morning. Good to see you all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, okay, we made it. It's officially 9 o'clock a.m. on Saturday morning. Great morning, everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. I want to thank you all for being here this morning and welcome to the Mitch Race podcast. I am Mitch Race and I help middle aged to seasoned professional men who are distracted, unclear, and don't know their value gain clarity and vision so they can become the best version of themselves while earning their desired high level income to match their image. So good to see you. Again, thank you for being here. So, it's my goal. First of all, I hope that you've all had a really great week. I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, I feel you, and at times, I am you and you are me. I'm telling you now, even though we can only be ourselves, I say that in the sense that we feel each other, that we've been through similar struggles, that we have similar challenges, that we're not that different at all. And as you know, in a very divided time, there are people that would probably think otherwise, but we are more similar and we have more similarities than we think. We're more alike than we are different. No matter what the political landscape may say, no matter what the pundits and anyone else may think, we are more alike and we have more in common. We have more unity. We have more of a union. We have more of an understanding, even possibly, than we think. So, in saying all of that, it's my goal today to have an attitude of excellence, and to bring you excellent value. On today's podcast, we are going to look at some ways to recognize your self worth. Juicy, juicy stuff, I assure you. Let's start this way. What is self worth? Self worth is an individual's belief in their own value and worthiness as a person. It's an internal sense of being good enough and deserving of love and respect from others. People with a healthy sense of self worth can enjoy their relationships, experiences, and possessions without letting those things define them. Know what you are not. In determining your self worth, know what you are not. You are not your money. Your self worth should not be your money. Money should change things, not who you are. Money should not maketh the man. I'll give you an example. If you have $1 in your pocket, or $10, or $100, does that $1 bill or the $10 bill define you, or the 100, or even the $1,000 bill for that matter? Does that money define you? Does that say, this is who I am? Does it say that you are valuable? Is that what makes you valuable? No, it's not. Money just really just makes you more of what you are. So if you're ungrateful, and sometimes we are, then guess what? We may have more money, but we're just ungrateful for what we have. So how is that helpful to us? How does that define who we are? The money that we have in our pocket does not define who we are. It will make us feel great. And at times it should, especially if we are in need. But we also have to be careful, even in that sense, that the feeling needy is not who we are, that does not define us, that does not create a scarcity mindset that in turn defines who we are. And I have been there I've been there with a scarcity mindset, so I can speak on that. Instead of thinking abundance, I thought scarcity. So I know the challenges that come from that. And the yeah, I know the challenges that come from that, and the guys that it actually creates for you. And we have to be really careful of that. It's not a good feeling. Scarcity mindset is not a good feeling. Um, Abundant, having a feeling of abundance, and and just knowing that you are enough, that helps you to define your self-worth. So money should not be the thing that should define us. And I know I'm spending a little bit more time on that, but as I said, that was one of my that was one of the things I came that actually kind of almost stopped me from making a quality decision to improve my life. So I could actually be here today to be able to speak on these things and help others as they go through their challenges. Scarcity mindset, those types of things. Not having enough, not being enough, not doing enough. Another thing, you are not your car. These are possessions we're talking about. You are not your home. You can have a great home, and you should. You can have a great car, and you should. You should be part of those things that you own without those things owning you and defining who you are. You can ask yourself questions. Are you wrapped up in the value of your home? And that may be a fair question. Does its external value reflect your internal sense of self-worth? Um, Now, we may have worked very hard for these things, and most people I know are hard workers, builders, entrepreneurs, and just people who work hard in general at their jobs and their careers. But we are not these things. And I hesitate as we go on, in some sense, to say this, but we're also not our relationships. We're not. In other words, we should be careful not to lose who we are or who we are looking to become personally to our relationship. And here's why. If one party in the relationship, or even both, and this can work the same for friendships as well, because those are also considered relationships, um, think negatively about the other person. If one party in the relationship thinks negatively about the other person and are vocal about that, then the person on the receiving end of that negativity, their self-worth and also their self-esteem is affected. And that is how they may define themselves in the relationship. They may define themselves through the relationship as this is who they are. If their partner is saying things, cruel things, name calling, as we talked about in last week's Mitch Race podcast, lazy, stupid, you're uncaring, you're undevoted, you're useless, you're spineless. There are some pretty cruel things, as you know and I know, that can be said in relationships, and I'm sure have been said in relationships that are going on now. So if you're in a relationship and those things are what's going on with you, if in any way these things are being said to you and you are taking it to heart, let me remind you, you are valuable. I'm going to stop that right now. You are valuable. So recognize your value. Recognize that you are not what your partner says about you. Recognize that even if your friends and your relationships, that you're not what they say about you, unless they're saying something that's encouraging. And that's why it's important to get around the right people. But knowing that you're not your relationship, not letting the relationship determine your value, I think that is different than love. And of course, we love and value the person that we are with. We have individual levels of self-worth. In relationships, we should encourage ourselves and others to pursue the highest value of that self-worth. That's our job. So our value should not be wrapped up in these things. Our value is based on so much more than this. And I just want to say this about excuse me for a second. I just wanted to say this about self-worth and self-esteem. Self-worth is often confused with self-esteem, which is more dependent on external factors like our achievements and our successes. Self-esteem can be inconsistent, which can lead to feelings of being unworthy. Self-worth, on the other hand, is generally internal and comes from within. So please let me know if you're getting value by commenting value. If you can relate, comment with relate, and thank you kindly. Because I really do value you all, and I want to know what it is that you're thinking and what your key points and your takeaways are on some of these things, some of these issues that we bring up. Because the more that we understand and the more we dialogue with each other, the more people out here get some help. They get help with things like defining their self-esteem, defining their value, defining their self-worth, help with confidence. We all need that. And we all come from somewhere. So I'd really appreciate it. And thank you. So now we're going to go into some of these ways that we can actually recognize our self-worth. So ways that you out there can recognize your self-worth. One way, define your value. Define your value. You define your value. That was one of the biggest things that I learned in this journey now that I'm on, and that I can really help with, because I did not understand my value. I had to redefine my value from things that I thought that made me valuable. And I kind of lost my way a little bit in that. So in getting and finding this value, there were all kinds of things that I had to do. I had to learn, for one thing. I had to grow and scale up to the point where as I understood exactly what my value was. And let me tell you something. No matter what you may think it is, it's probably more. You are valuable. I am valuable. Okay? Your time is valuable. Your life is valuable. What you think is valuable. What you say is valuable. But you get to define that. We get, as being a quality human being, we get to define that. And looking to become our best versions of ourselves, we get to define that. So define your value. Recognize your worth and value your skills and expertise. For example, let's say you have a business, you're a business owner, and you're undervaluing your product or your service, or even if you're an entrepreneur, you're undervaluing your product or your service. You might start by defining your value by charging full value for your services. That's one way to define your value. Or even feeling confident when you're interacting with colleagues. If you're not confident, that's another way of defining your value. So having these discussions and how to have these discussions about your value and your worth and money, those discussions can be uncomfortable, but it's a learnable skill, and there are qualified coaches and masterclass teachers, such as myself, and communities who can help you. The more that you tune in to these podcasts, and the more that you tune in to the lives and things that you happen to see me and the community, different members of our community on, you will understand that you can get a lot of information by being involved in these things, by being a part of the discussions along with us. Because one thing is for sure, we are defining our value. We value our skills and our level of expertise, and we are here to do that so that we can give it all away. Crazy as it may sound, because it's valuable. It's valuable to create and build people. It's valuable to help where people need help at. And there's a lot of areas. So as I said, there are qualified coaches and masterclass teachers that can do this. So just tap into our communities, tap into these discussions on a weekly basis or regular basis along with us. We're on at different times. and we bring a lot of different values to the marketplace. One of the best personal and best business decisions I have ever made was to secure a mentor and a community to help me get extremely clear as to how to go about determining and communicating my value to others. It was one of the absolute best decisions I ever could have made. It helped me to reframe my mindset. It helped me to reconsider. It helped me to rethink. It helped me to pause, to accept and understand some things that were going on in my life so I could lose some of the stinking thinking that I accumulated and that I would be able to help others with. So in saying that, another thing that will help you to define your self-worth and your value: improve your boundaries. Developing and maintaining boundaries can help you achieve a healthy sense of self-worth. Things change when you change your ideas and your thinking about your own personal boundaries. As I speak to you, I'm speaking to myself. And once you learn to apply them and communicate them to others, and there's a lot of coaching that's out here, specifically in this area of boundaries. I know a number of them. My simple start for learning how to improve your boundaries: say no. Learn how to say no. It's a very, very simple, but an effective and powerful step. Learn how to say no and stand by that decision and be good with it, and know that it is not a reflection of who you are in a negative way, but it's a reflection of who you are in a positive way and where you're going, and that you value yourself, that you love yourself, and that you, because you can do these things respectfully with people, you can say no in a respectful manner. You should feel a sense of empowerment, confidence, and self-worth that immediately goes straight to your valuable self, and you are valuable. Practice self-care. Self-care can help you reflect on your successes and recognize the effort that it took to achieve them. Take care of your mind, taking care of your spiritual needs, taking care of your mental needs and your physical needs. Show that you understand and recognize your self-worth and that you appreciate yourself greatly. Reward yourself for taking care of yourself. Reward yourself for taking care of you. Do right by yourself. Do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. But are we doing unto ourselves? Because if you're not, then you're missing a major part of living in life for you and living in happiness and having some peace. Exercise. Regular exercise can improve your physical appearance, strength, and sense of achievement, which can boost your self-esteem and your self-worth. And this is key if you're really looking for quick dividends in recognizing your self-worth. Practice self-compassion. Another big one here. Let's go. Self-compassion encourages you to assume your self-worth instead of evaluating it. It can also reduce feelings of isolation and increase feelings of connection. This works exceptionally well, especially if you are the type of person that's really hard on themselves 99.9% of the time and needs to give themselves some grace. As we often say in the community, give yourself some grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Practice some self-compassion. You will appreciate it, I guarantee you. Recognize your strengths. Recognize your strengths in order to recognize your self-worth. Recognizing your strengths can help you recognize your self-worth. If any of you out there are caregivers, I was a caregiver at one time, but if any of you out there are caregivers, acknowledging your strengths can help you build self-esteem and separate yourself from your role as a caregiver, which is really necessary. It can also help you become more resilient, overcome challenges, and grow as a person, which is really what we're trying to do here. And not even trying, what we need to do. We eliminate the T word. I was a caregiver to my mom and sometimes a caregiver to the caregiver, if you can picture that. And the reason for that was because she had her own moments too, where her self-worth and her value were at the bottom. And everybody sometimes needs an uplifter. Shout out. You know who you are, uplifter. Everyone needs to be uplifted. Everyone deserves that. Surround yourself with positivity. As we come in, we're taking this in for a landing now. But surround yourself with positivity. Positive people can reinforce your self-worth, while toxic relationships can diminish your confidence. Be around people who celebrate you. Be around people who want to be around you. Be around people who can appreciate you, and be around people who lift you up to the stars. Be around people who are encouragers. Be around people who are helpful and resourceful. Be in a community. Check into a community of people that care, that love, and that know how to treat you. Not people who are constantly, are you around, or have you ever been around people who are just such Debbie Downers? And I mean, they criticize everything. They criticize, if they're not criticizing you, they're criticizing someone else. If they're not speaking negative about you, they're speaking negative about someone else. That is very, very draining, and that will diminish anyone's confidence if you allow it to, and if you don't have the right training to sustain and the understanding to know really how valuable you are. And on that note, I just want to say I really, really am grateful that you have been here and you spent this Saturday with me. I'm going to be having a masterclass that I'm going to announce really soon. It should absolutely be in September. I don't have the exact date as of yet because I needed to kind of like look at a couple of things, and I may have to move some things around as my September is very busy, but I would love for it to be busy with with this particular masterclass. And we're going to reframe our mind at that masterclass for a six-figure income. Juicy stuff. Juicy stuff. I am excited about it, and I know you will be too. And one of the best things about that, it's free. 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 Yeah, I said the word. I said the F word. I said free. So in being free, stop on by, register. I'm going to encourage you to register for that masterclass once you see the details pop up, and you will see them very, very soon. I hope that you got extreme value from this podcast today. I want to thank you all again for tuning in every Saturday with your support, with your love, with your questions, with your attitude of excellence, which I am grateful for you bringing today, as you do all the time. And thank you. That being said, this has been the Mitch Race Podcast. And until we see each other next week, I hope you have a phenomenal Saturday, a phenomenal weekend. And I hope again that you got great value and share this with someone. And I think I'm going to kind of take a look and see on that note if there's any questions anywhere, because I don't know if actually that it went live, and I'm hoping that it did on Instagram. If we did not, then there will be a recording that kind of goes up, because sometimes these things happen. But if it didn't happen, it's okay. You're going to see this recording. Again, I am Mitch Race. And till we meet again, reframe your vision. Reframe your value, reframe your vision, and reframe your victory. Thanks again for being here. I enjoyed you so very, very much, as I always do. Take great care of yourselves and each other. See ya.